Ever wondered why traditional trains can't sprint like Usain Bolt? Well, let's dive into the world of the Iron Horse, also known as our beloved traditional train. You see, trains have been around for quite some time, playing a vital role in transportation and commerce, but despite their importance, they do come with their own set of limitations. First off, these locomotives are not exactly what you'd call speed demons. Picture a tortoise. Now picture it carrying a load of freight on its back. That's our train. Why so slow, you ask? It all comes down to friction, the age-old nemesis of motion. The wheels of the train, engaged in a constant tussle with the tracks, generate friction. This friction, while necessary for movement and braking, also limits the speed of the train. It's like trying to run in a swimming pool. You can do it, but it's not exactly efficient. Speaking of efficiency, traditional trains tend to lose their charm when it comes to high-speed operations. The faster they go, the more energy they require, and the more wear and tear on the components. It's like asking a marathon runner to sprint the whole distance. Sure, they could do it, but it wouldn't be pretty or sustainable, and let's not forget the noise. A traditional train passing by can give a rock concert a run for its money in the decibel department. The clattering of wheels on tracks, the screeching of brakes, the rumble of the engine, it's a symphony of sound that's not exactly music to the ears. So while our Iron Horse has served us well for centuries, these limitations, the friction, the inefficiency at high speeds, and the noise pollution have always been the Achilles heel. Well, folks, it seems like our dear old Iron Horse has hit a bit of a wall, hasn't it? But don't worry, the world of transportation has a magnetic ace up its sleeve. But we'll get to that in the next scene. Stay tuned. But what if I told you there's a train out there that said, "Friction never heard of her"? Yes, we're talking about the Maglev Trains, a marvel of modern engineering. These futuristic locomotives have shunned the traditional wheel-track relationship, choosing instead to float above the tracks. How, you ask? Well, it's all thanks to the magic of magnets. Imagine a typical dating scenario. Now replace the couple with two magnets. The north pole of one magnet is attracted to the south pole of the other, just like two lovebirds. But when you try to push two similar poles together, they repel each other. That's the "we need some space" part of the relationship. The Maglev trains use this magnetic repulsion to lift off the tracks, reducing friction to almost zero. So it's like the train and the track have decided to see other people, but they can't quite quit each other either. Now buckle up. We're about to take a high-speed journey through the history of Maglev trains. Let's rewind to the early 20th century, to the year 1905. The first patent for a Maglev train was filed by a German inventor, Alfred Zeden. Now, before you picture a sleek, futuristic train whizzing past at breathtaking speeds, hold your horses. The first Maglev was probably slower than a snail on vacation. It was more an idea than a practical reality, but it was the spark that ignited a century of innovation. Fast forward to the 1930s, another German engineer, Hermann Kemper, breathed life into Zeden's dream. Kemper's prototype was the world's first functional maglev, but it was more of a hovercraft than a train. It was a bit like a clumsy ballet dancer, wobbling and teetering, but it was a start. The 1970s saw the birth of the first commercial maglev. No, not in Germany, but in England. The Birmingham International Maglev was more of a shuttle than a train, covering a whopping 600 meters. It's like running 2 laps around a standard athletic track. But hey, Rome wasn't built in a day, right? But the real game changer came from the land of the rising sun. Japan's JR Maglev MLX-01 set the world record for the fastest maglev in 2003, reaching a jaw-dropping speed of 581 kilometers per hour. That's faster than a cheetah riding a rocket. Today, China holds the crown for the most extensive maglev network, with the Shanghai Maglev being the jewel in its magnetic crown. This modern marvel can take you from downtown Shanghai to the airport in just 7 minutes. That's quicker than making a cup of tea. And that, my friends, was a whirlwind tour through the annals of Maglev history. Okay, now that we've hopped off the history train, it's time for a quick Maglev Masterclass. Let's start with the basics. Maglev, short for magnetic levitation, is a type of train that uses 2 sets of magnets. One to repel the train up from the track, and another to move the elevated train forward. These magnetic forces propel the train at incredible speeds, all while keeping it levitated above the track. It's like magic, but with more physics and less rabbits out of hats. Now, speaking of speed, let's talk numbers. These maglev trains are no slouches. They can reach speeds up to 370 miles per hour. Yes, you heard it right, 370. That's faster than a cheetah on a skateboard going downhill with the wind at its back. If you're in a hurry to get somewhere, maglev is the way to go. Not only are they fast, but they're also efficient. These trains are the poster children for energy efficiency. They make energy-saving light bulbs look like gas guzzlers. That's because with no physical contact between the train and the track, there's no rolling resistance, which means less energy is wasted. It's like sliding on a frictionless ice rink, but without the bruised elbows and dignity. Now, you're probably wondering, how does all this magnet magic work? Well, it's all thanks to a principle called electromagnetic suspension, or EMS for short. The train wraps around the track and electromagnets on the undercarriage are directed up towards the rail. When the power is switched on, these magnets create a magnetic field that pushes the train up in the air and down the track. It's like those cartoon characters that run off a cliff and keep going until they look down. Only with maglev, there's no looking down and plummeting to an unfortunate end, but don't let all this talk of speed and efficiency fool you into thinking that maglev trains are all about the rush. These babies are also smooth operators. With no wheels touching tracks, there's no bumping, shaking, or jostling about. It's a ride so smooth you could balance a coin on its edge or pour a cup of tea without spilling a drop. Not that we recommend trying either of those at 370 miles per hour. And there you have it, a crash course in all things maglev that didn't actually involve any crashing. But wait, before you trade in your car for a personal maglev, there's a couple of things you should know. First off, let's talk about the cost. Building a maglev train is not like buying a toy train set and laying it out in your backyard. Oh no, it's more like buying everyone in your city a luxury car. Yes, the price tag is that hefty. The technology, infrastructure, and maintenance required for these high-speed trains are as massive as their speed. And unfortunately, not every city's budget is as swift as a maglev. Then there's the issue of magnetic interference. Now, if you're thinking, what's a little bit of magnetism between friends? Let me tell you, it's not all fun and games. These magnetic fields can interfere with electronic devices and medical equipment, so unless you fancy your smartphone going haywire or your pacemaker doing the tango, it's something to consider. Now imagine you're a bird flying high in the sky, minding your own business, then whoosh, a maglev train zips past, creating a sonic boom in its wake. Not exactly music to the ears, is it? That's right, the noise pollution from these trains is another potential downside. Of course, all these things don't mean we should abandon the idea of maglev trains. Far from it. They're a testament to human ingenuity and our relentless pursuit of speed and efficiency, but as with all things in life, they come with their own set of challenges that need to be addressed. So, while maglev trains are indeed the Usain Bolt of the railway world, they do come with their own set of hurdles to jump over.